For teleSUR, I'm Cody Weddle in Caracas, Venezuela. Foreign ministers and representatives of some 30 countries gathered for a security conference in Paris today to discuss plans to fight Islamic State militants in Syria and Iraq. The United States has unveiled a strategy to fight the Islamic militants and believes it can forge a solid alliance. That's despite hesitancy among some partners and questions over the legality of military action. Syria has the backing of Russia and China. Syrian leaders have warned that any such action taken on its soil would be considered aggression. As countries meet in Paris, Iran's Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei dismisses U.S. efforts to build a coalition against Islamic State militants as hollow and self-serving. Iran says it backs the Syrian and Iraqi governments in their fight against the insurgents. Tehran has not been included in Washington's coalition to target the group. Brazilian president and candidate for re-election Dilma Rousseff was met by a crowd of young artists in the city of Belo Horizonte Sunday. Rousseff highlighted the role that youth have played in social transformations in Brazil during the last decade. Rousseff is a native of Belo Horizonte. She finds herself in a tight race with rival Marina Silva, who has seen a surge in the polls in recent weeks. A second round of voting is expected in the presidential contest. The Colombian Senate is preparing for a historic debate tomorrow that will explore the links between politicians and paramilitary activity in the South American country. teleSUR Colombia correspondent Charles Parkinson has more.
Wednesday, 17th of September will be a momentous day for Colombia, with a historic debate in the country's Senate into the paramilitary ties of politicians. Now, this is a debate that progressive members of the Senate, led by Dr. Ivan Cepeda, have been pushing for many years. It is the extension of a scandal that first broke in 2006, in which more than 100 members of Congress were investigated and over 60 officials ended up going to prison for their paramilitary ties. But critics have always said that the most responsible for this scandal have never faced justice. And in fact, a significant proportion of the current Congress continues to have ties to current or former paramilitaries. Now, to add a twist to this debate, last week, Colombia's Constitutional Court declared that Ivan Cepeda and his allies cannot name former President Alvaro Uribe in the debate. So it should make for interesting viewing how it's going to pan out. Charles Parkinson in Bogota, Colombia.
And thanks to Charles. Colombian Minister of the Presidency Nestor Martinez says that the two Venezuelan students expelled from his country earlier this month are, quote, no little angels, end quote. Laurent Gomez Saleh and Gabriel Valles were expelled from Colombia for visa violations and have been accused of instigating violent protests in Venezuela. At the end of last week, photos of the students were released showing Saleh wielding a Colombian military assault rifle and Valles dressed in Colombian military garb. Venezuelan government officials have pointed to the photos as proof of Saleh's and Valles' links to subversive and destabilizing activities. Today, the Prime Minister of the self-proclaimed Donetsk People's Republic, Alexander Zakharchenko, warned the Organization for Security and Cooperation against taking risks in the embattled eastern city. A six-person team of the International Monitoring Group came under shelling attack twice in the Donetsk region Sunday. The OSCE did not blame either side for the shelling, and there was nothing to suggest the OSCE monitors had been deliberately targeted. Nobody on the OSCE team was injured. Meanwhile, Zakharchenko has rebuked OSCE monitors for not sharing their findings with pro-Russian separatist fighters. Destruction and economic effects following Israel's offensive in Gaza have led to a surge in Palestinians hoping to escape the besieged strip. With more, here's our correspondent there, Noor Herzine.
It's a calm, peaceful day in the Gaza Strip. The only bad news that the residents here got is the fact that over 10 Gazan youth died on their way to the shores of Italy. This is a new illegal immigration way for the youth of Gaza to leave Gaza. They pay up to $5,000 to $10,000 to leave Gaza through the tunnels, and then they go to the Egyptian city of Alexandria, where they sail for 10 days from the shores of Alexandria to the Italian shores. They think that by this way they will be able to start a new life in one of the European countries. However, this news of the boat drowning and 10 Palestinians from Gaza killed in this incident is now scaring and fearing the youth of Gaza of trying or applying for such journey just to leave their life in Gaza and the suffering. Also, at the same time, people here, the residents, are concerned about the continuation of the indirect negotiations between Palestinians and Israelis. This month-long truce, this month-long ceasefire is going to end soon, in at least 15 days from now, and the people are worried that an escalation is going to happen if not the Palestinian side or the Israeli side will send their delegations to Cairo to continue the negotiations.
And thanks to Noor, leading Scottish bands took to the stage Sunday to urge people to vote yes in this week's referendum on independence. The sold-out event was titled A Night for Scotland. It comes amid a final push for votes on both sides. Voters will head to the polls Thursday. Performers met Scottish First Minister Alex Salmond, who has been leading the Yes campaign. A statement from Mogwai called it an exciting time for Scotland. Opinion polls over the weekend indicate that the result could go either way. Plenty more on those stories and plenty others at our website, telesurtv.net/English. For teleSUR English, I'm Cody Weddle.